What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tabi podcast. This is where we get to share their inspiring stories of hardworking individuals. We hope that you all can relate and feel motivated from these journeys. Our motto is advance the path you believe in. This is episode 2, and we are excited to share the stories of our very first guests on our show. We have the team of Expired Lifestyle with us today. Expired is a new streetwear brand that brings its community together through collaboration and unique engagement. Their presence and interpretation of the word expired resonates with all kinds of people from various backgrounds. Let us see what we can learn from them.
Yo, what up?
Hey.
What's good?
All right, so today we got Expired Gang. Why don't you guys just start off by telling a little bit about yourselves?
So my name is Garrett. I'm 22. Came from the 626 area, Arcadia, if you know.
So whoop. I'm Ann. I'm from Garden Grove. Just dropped out of UCR this summer. Whoop.
So your brand is called Expired Lifestyle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So Expired Lifestyle, it originally started from an idea. So it was during our college days, you know, when we were still playing Fortnite.
Like
but
freshman year of
Nah.
college, would you say?
It was actually, I would say senior.
Senior, okay.
Junior year.
In a way, because we have another one of our partners named Chris Nguyen. I call him Modak as a nickname. Yeah, so, you know, he came up with the idea of talking to us about starting a streetwear brand with me. And I was kind of interested at the time because, you know, it's like, why not? I wanted to hear what he had to say. So I was like, what would you even call it? And then he called it Expired. And I'm like, why Expired? It's because no one would ever expect the word expired, because expired normally means like moldy food, out of date. So he's like, I want to be something that's the complete opposite, almost like an oxymoron in terms of expectations for this brand. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And it kind of originated also because like our Instagram, we used to each it was like a joke where we would call ourselves expired foods, like I'm expired pot sticker, on is expired chicken soup, and my Chris was expired rice. Yeah, and it was kind of like a trend, you know. We had other people calling them like expired banh mi, expired bolaklak, expired banseo, and then it was kind of like a thing in like our college days.
Wow.
And then you told me before that you wanted to go for the timeless feeling, right? With your brand, that's why you wanted to call it Expired.
In the way, like, you know, it first started this idea, and then, you know, we kind of like discovered more of the company as it kind of just everything started clicking, and it makes sense almost coincidentally.
Yeah, like as time goes, more ideas are born, and then it just all relate to Expired. Because like with the name, you can do a lot with the name. Like our marketing, we ship the clothes in food packages, because when you talk about Expired, it's food related. And then it's also like, when you talk about fashion, most people say, oh, you look fresh. And then like the funny thing is the opposite of fresh is expired. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just really fun, the name.
So just to give a little bit background, I've actually known An and Garrett for a couple years now. I think like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Wow. So we went to the same college. We started our brand, Brian, around the same time they started their brand.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're kind of on this journey together in a way.
Same boat.
Yeah, me and Garrett, we always talk a lot when we would, hang out together about like our brands and kind of share ideas and like our experience and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really tight with Max, like it was like me, Max, Jet, and then Raymond. Like we would all hang out in the same house, kick it, all good times. And then later as we grew older, we kind of started sharing the ideas that we wanted to do for our future endeavors.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but both of you guys decided to drop out of college, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So here's my question. When was it kind of like, when did you realize that you wanted to go, you know what? Like, fuck this, all chips, all in.
Yeah.
And you just decided to go. What made you all decide to do that, I guess you could say?
For me, I never liked school to begin with.
Uh-huh.
I only went to class to take the test. I just love the social aspect that school has to offer so much more than school itself. And toward the end of my college career, like I started pursuing what I like to do, what I've always wanted to do, which is video editing. So I started putting myself out there on social media and doing all that stuff. And then so Garrett and Chris launched a brand, and they noticed what I was doing, and they liked it. So they asked me to become part of the team. So when I accepted the opportunity, I was like, this is it. Like I don't need school anymore. I'm gonna go all in with this opportunity and apply everything that I know to bring this ground up from the ground. And then that's what I've been doing since.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Garrett?
So yeah, I think for me is I never really liked school in general as well. Throughout my years, like I've had a few major setbacks. I went through a few like complications with my life. But as I was going through with it during my fourth year, I kind of just started realizing like, for my career path, I didn't really need school, but I was only going through mainly just because I wanted to make my parents happy. They wanted me to do it. I actually wanted to drop out earlier, but I just held it off because I wanted to make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I kind of just realized that, like, don't get me wrong, I don't regret going to school, because I think without going to college, it gave me the one thing that I needed, which was the connections. It gave me the knowledge and intellectual in terms of the streets and the career path that I would be able to meet with so many people. Because without college, I would have never met I would have met you guys.
Yeah.
And that was like the one crucial factor with me. That's kind of I think that is the number reason why I stayed in college. That was just kept telling me to go. And then when I saw that I had the opportunity to leave early on the chance, because I already got everything I needed and got enough exposure, that I decided to just take the die and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy because I know Brian and I struggle when we're in college. We struggle with staying in college too.
Like, so close to dropping out too.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny because even when I graduated, my major has nothing to do with what I'm actually
exactly
doing in my 9-to-5 job. So I mean, it's kind of different.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I hear a lot too. One of the reasons why, because a lot of people that graduated, there's like, oh, what I'm doing right now has nothing to do with my major, and they're like, oh, in interviews they don't even ask about your school and stuff. So that's just one of the reasons, that.
Yeah, I think in today's world, like, I feel like having street smarts, having actual experience is more important than just academics, because getting an A in bio isn't gonna help you succeed in the world.
Yeah, especially like, I feel like a lot of these companies just want you to perform. It doesn't really matter what school you come from. It's just you got to produce these numbers, and if you're able to do it, you're able to do it. But I mean, besides that, I mean, I really respect that. Anyone who's really dropped out of college and decided to go all in. You guys have my support 100%, and it's like real respect.
Thank you.
I would never be able to do that personally, but like.
Hey, but you completed it. That's a hella props too.
Yeah. I definitely think there's like pros and cons to both of it, but I think like for you guys to just like follow your own path, I think that's like the most important part.
And I think it's crazy because Expired has been gaining a lot of traction recently. If you guys check out their IG right here. but they produce some awesome content, it's very unique. Especially I love how'd you guys create that idea of your platform? I guess like on IG, how they're all kind of connected.
Oh yeah, super cool.
That's one of the cool thing too. I feel like everything is just coming together, because even how we do the layout for Instagram, because our vision for the brand is to bring people together and to inspire people to just do what they love, like building community. And the Instagram, everything is connected with each other, so it's kind of like our way of showing that like we want everybody to be connected. We want to bring everyone together, and then without one picture, the other one's not gonna
I also want to mention, like, if you check out our Instagram, these are all photographies that we have. It's to like represent all of our adventures, our experiences, the type of the lifestyle, the different people we meet, and what we do is like we make it into a form of art, as a way of showing people what we've been through as a type of experience.
So it's like it's more than just the clothes. It's about the people, the lifestyles, the experience.
Because you guys mentioned like one of your like the backbone of your company is building a community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So could you guys like kind of speak more to that?
Yeah, so some of the principles, it's not just a community. We kind of, our core principle is creativity, collaboration, community. It's like what I call it, like a triple C.
Triple C?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
C game.
Yeah, yeah, you know how it is. But but yeah, it's because yeah, because community is because like, you know, a lot of brands out there, they like to portray as like, oh, like we're hype, we're unique because like we're clean, top quality. You know, everyone says that, but you know, I don't see many brands that try to be more interactive with their community. You know, because in the end, the people that support you are all people, and you know, we want to see them as equals. So like, we all love to give that open opportunity to like let them feel what we feel, because that's why we created the word Expire Game. Because anyone that supports us and with us, we want them to be a part of our movement, and express through our social media and through videos, you know. And as we get more and more people involved, it's like kind of like bringing the team and group like bigger and bigger, you know, just like a big entire family. Like
we can inspire I like from my college experience being in an organization, a fraternity, the same one with Max and Garrett. You know,
You
like
guys are all in the same fraternity.
Yeah.
So I learned
story.
about how like the kind of impact a group of people can make on an individual, and you know, like, so the Expire Gang is our goal is to inspire people to follow their passion, and then as the group grows bigger, you can, you know, push your movement better.
Yeah.
You definitely keep evolving. I think the best part is about like the journey. It's like you're obviously going to see the process, and you are going to see improving. You know, like you guys were nothing compared to now from where you were now than like a year ago.
Yeah.
You know?
it's all trial and error.
6 months
Yeah.
ago.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of why we wanted to do this podcast too, you know. We see our progress, we see everyone else's progress, and we kind of want to make those progress like in a way public. Want to let people know, and that's our way of inspiring people, you know.
Document the growth.
Yeah.
I respect that.
That's nice. Yeah.
So what would you say would be kind of like, I guess like an obstacle with your parents when you guys were telling them that, you know what, I'm gonna go all into my business? Like, you know, it must have been a lot of family drama at that. I feel like
Because we're Asian.
yeah, especially if you're Asian, you know.
So with me, my family background is like I actually have a family business where we do imports. So I was already in the fashion game, but I didn't want to always be like living in the shadow of my parents. I wanted to create something myself, and you know, at first it was kind of shocking for them because, you know, all of a sudden I come up with like this idea that I want to bring top quality apparel and stuff. But when our traditional business model from my family business is we sell like off-brand generic shoes for like $3 a pop. So this is like a completely different spectrum from what it is now. And you know, it took some convincing, you know, but I showed them like, I tried showing them my vision as possible. Like I showed them my partner's work, like what he's capable of, you know. And I told them like, this is what I really wanted, like, because I wanted to create something out of myself. And you know, it's like I want to be able to have that self-independence, showing that I created something out of my own rather than, oh, I inherited my parents' business. You know, and I don't want to do that. Like I want to be self-made.
Amen.
That's tight.
What about you, On?
For me, it's kind of a good and bad thing. I've never been close to my family, so all of the decisions I've made in my life is just up to me. So when I dropped out, I just did it. They did have some concerns. They're just like, oh, go finish it and stuff. But I just show them like everything that I've been doing since I dropped out, and you know, they're like, yeah, I guess you're fine. But then like my goal is to, you know, just get my shit straight so that I can take care of them and my little brothers soon enough. Because my little brothers, like one of them is 18 now, the other one's like 14. So I want to, you know, get my shit together fast so that I'm able to show them the path, so they don't have to struggle.
Lead by example.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they're not sure what they want, especially the middle one. He's not sure what he wants to do either. And then right now I don't have enough time to help him. But one day, soon, hopefully.
Yeah. I think it's really cool how your community, you guys are going very depth Because I feel like a lot of other companies that go like wide.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of like scouted themselves out, and then they don't actually build like a solid root and a foundation. I guess when did you start to see a community? Did you see it like right away, or was it kind of like?
So for sure it wasn't right away. You know, it first started within Riverside actually. So you
Riverside.
know, yeah. Once we released our first collection, we shared it with Riverside.
Oh, by the way, we all went to Riverside. Well,
Went to school
lived
in
in Riverside.
Riverside?
We'll continue on.
Yeah, so like, you know, our origins come from Riverside, and then, you know, we utilize like what available resources we had, you know, because in the beginning you want to be able to utilize what you have available before you really try to like globalize and expand into different markets. So we just used what our resources that we had, and we reached out to Zeta Phi Rho, and then we just shared it with them, and then we would share it with all our friends. So it was actually our friends that supported us in the very beginning, because, you know, they bought our merch, they like I don't know if I can cuss or they.
Go ahead,
I fucking cuss.
Yeah, like they fucked with our brand, and then they were just rocking it, and they supported us. So it was like kind of like inspiration, you know. In the beginning, for sure, it was pretty hard, you know. Like not many people knew about us.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't sure what we're doing. There was a lot of mistakes being made. A lot of things were like spontaneous, last minute things.
All the marketing was done with an iPhone 2. And we actually just got an equipment like last month. No, 2 weeks ago.
What equipment?
The camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it's my first equipment too.
Hey, the first one.
How much was it?
The whole thing is $1,000, including the lens.
That's a really nice camera,
affordable,
though.
Yeah. I'm super excited to make content with this.
Yeah.
But the community, the whole community idea, we came up with it because we grew from a community ourselves, you know, from a frat.
Yeah.
And like the whole, you know, fraternity taught us a lot about brotherhood, loyalty, teamwork, and like how an organization can change a person. So when we came up with this idea, like we want to change people's life, we want to inspire people, and like the best method is to have a community, you know, that someone can look up to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah. What's one of your early struggles, you would say?
You want to go first?
Early struggles. I guess early struggle. A big thing was just the whole technical process of setting everything up. That was for sure a thing, just because, you know, I think when I created this company, I actually didn't know anything about streetwear, to be honest.
Yeah, us too.
Like I didn't have a fashion sense. I went to Marshalls or Ross to shop my clothes. But then and you know, it was like I ended up going to a trip to China, and then I kind of got exposed to a giant market. Well, it wasn't, but it was like more of the rep market, but it kind of opened my eyes to like what is out there in terms of streetwear and fashion. And then after that, like I kind of like grew a better understanding of how fashion works, because now like I'm looking at StockX, Nike, newest drop shoes, streetwear. I look up all these brands, and it's crazy how I learned so much when a year before I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah. Word.
There's always learning to do. My obstacle, it's definitely time. It always has been, and I overcome it by just prioritizing. Sometimes I just have to, you know, like cancel stuff on people, which I feel really bad about, but it's just part of what I have to do. It's time.
Time management, right? Yeah. There's only like so little time in a week to do stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, especially me. I mean, I think all of us. I think especially when you're working a job too. You know, you come home, you wash the dishes, and it's already like 9:30, 10 p.m.
No, it's for real, dude.
So what's like do you guys have like a iconic moment where you guys realize like, okay, like this is it, like this is the shit that we're gonna keep building on?
Yeah,
we have multiple.
So I think one thing I really enjoyed was, okay, do you want multiple or do you want like?
Yeah, just say all of them.
So some things include like our first ever pop up on a school campus. I think that was a very exciting thing, because that was the first time we set up a temporary brick and mortar store, you know, for people to really see us in person rather than just on the website. Also, but I think my very first one was when we had our first launch party, where it's like it was kind of more of like a celebratory event where we kind of invited everybody that we were able to come across, meet, collaborate, and we invited them all to this party. And it took a lot of setup. It was also a lot of last minute things, but in the end of the day, when I looked at that party and I saw how big we built this community of like, not just like, it was like a lot of micro influencers, a lot of people, and it's just like, it was such a crazy thing that I was like,
yeah.
And we built, and that was during our fourth or fifth month, or no, third or fourth, our Expire launch party.
I think it was recently this. Wait, is it?
It was like in the summer.
August, I think.
August, yeah, it was in the summertime, and then, yeah, it's from the 4 or 5 months, like it felt like we were from where we started.
Like things were rolling, right?
Yeah, it was rolling. Like
the support was real. My favorite moment was, I think it's the first pop-up shop too. I remember I was like really nervous and anxious because I was like, oh, what if no one shows up?
Yeah.
But a lot of people showed up, and there's a lot of like random people that passed by, and they actually haven't heard about us, but then they like the clothes, they like the design, so that's actually a good thing too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then as they get to know us more, we tell them about this whole vision, the whole community thing, and they just fell in love with us, and they bought our stuff. So that sale went really successful. And then since then, we have been invited to other pop-ups. So like DJs and I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, we did collaborations for HB Productions. So for their Flavors concert, that was our first one. Also, we collaborated with Yatep, Omos, and Sorry Suck for their No Feels, or is it Feels concert. And then, we were set up right up in the front where everyone saw it, and it was just so much exposure.
And also people come up and they're like, oh shit, I see your stuff on social media. So that makes me super happy too.
Okay.
And we have more to come. We actually had one yesterday too on a boat, so that was an HB event. And like as the day goes by, we just meet new people that show support, and it just gives us the motivation to continue.
So when you guys like obviously when you guys market, is there always like one specific person, or is it both of you that kind of go out? Because for example, Charles and Max, they kind of live out of LA, so in order for me to meet like other business entrepreneurs, clothing like CEOs, like I have to go out majority of the time to meet these connections. Do you guys both just roll together as a unit, or is it more of on doing it, or you?
Most of the time we go together.
Yeah, usually when we meet up with the people through IGDM, we set up a schedule. We go to the specified date that we're gonna go shoot, and then we usually have like, it's like they're not even like people who like get paid or anything. They're just like people
they
from
just
Inspired
support.
Gang, and they're like photographers and models that just come through to like just join us.
Yeah, and then every time they come through, they bring someone new, and it's like, oh, hey, let's shoot. And then like how we don't need you to be a model to take pictures for us. Like, we just want you on there. We just want to know your story.
That's right.
So 80% of the time, like we go together, but then sometimes like he does his legal business stuff, manufacturing. He meets up with designers and stuff, so he does that on his own time. And then sometimes I do stuff on my own too, but most of the time we go together.
After yesterday, which we saw each other yesterday, and I had no clue.
We took a picture together, and I didn't even know that was you.
I didn't even know that was you too.
I was just so assed out from that yacht.
I know. That was good times.
What are some tips you guys could give people out there that are trying to build a community? Because I think it's pretty special that you like the way that you guys are building your brand. You guys want to build a community. So like, what are some tips for people out there?
Well, I mean, when you for example, when you run a retail store, right? Isn't customer service like a very important thing?
Yeah.
So it's like you're treating each customer with like the utmost attention to give them what they want, and like just to satisfy them. So how we take it is like we treat everything like maybe like a transaction, or it's like a customer, but they're not a customer, of course. They're like our supporters. So what we do is when we go up there, we take everything on a personal level, because we want to get to actually know them, rather than just like, oh, hey, you bought our stuff, cool, thanks, and then you just stop talking to them. No, we want to make it more like once they hear about us, we want to know about what they like to do, they strive for, because in the end that works for us, because we want to be that platform for people who they always want to do something but they don't know what to do, or they don't have that like ambition to like take that next step to pursue what they really want to do, and we want to be that guy to make them put their foot on the door. Is that what
the community
the
is like
pedal.
yeah.
it's like the community is in a way it's like giving people courage to do it.
Yeah.
You know? It's like leading by example. Right?
Yeah.
So for my advice for people who want to build a community is, well, I think I was able to do it because I wasn't afraid to share my story. You know, like I talk about me dropping out openly. I talk about my struggle. Like I used to be a really, you know, horrible person back then, and I grew a lot, and I'm not ashamed of sharing it to people, and I talk about my change and like what you can do to change yourself, what you can do to make your life better. You just have to be genuine and honest, and you start with, you know, your close friends. You start with like a small group, and then if the group will grow. So that's how you grow a community. I don't think it works by just, you know, going on social media and be like, oh, join this community. You have to really
like care about
do
them,
it.
right? Yeah.
Especially like when you're meeting them out in parties and stuff. I feel like it's all about like the jab hook, you know. You jab a couple times, and then, you know, when there's a favor you want to ask, you got to throw that right hook.
You'd be surprised at how many people like go through the same struggle. Like most of the people I talk to, they agree like about, you know, our perspective on school and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people agree with that. You just have to ask them and just be open about it.
Now, was there any time where you guys kind of got fucked over, basically, by another person, or like due to a business, just in general?
Like within the company?
Yeah, within or like
outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of my experience, issue would be, I guess, in terms of supply. So the thing with me is, like, when I tried doing overseas for the first time, the thing with ordering overseas is like, and these aren't like people like I've met or like I've met. So like on my trip to China, you know, like I came across this supplier that I thought was like a little too good to be true, because, you know, he was offering me great rates.
Yeah.
And then I was relying on him because, you know, I was told by one of my partners that this is the guy that I can rely on for my future drops. And I guess when I started relying on him, he just never left me on red, didn't give me my messages back. And then at that point, it put me on a hold, which kind of led to delays in our collections.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened to me and Max and Charles.
Yeah. Charles can't be here today because not enough mics.
It's actually right over here.
Yeah.
You want to pop in real
He's
quick?
cameraman today.
He's actually injured.
Yeah. Oh! Alright, it's okay. What were you saying? I forgot.
Getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, because like managing relationships with manufacturers is always hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, especially I think when they see you as a startup, they kind of don't expect anything from you. So why would they kind of give attention to you? And that was one of the challenges that we faced also.
That was one of our early struggles.
Also, I think another thing is like the language barrier, because even I was born here and then I didn't learn Chinese, and then, you know, when I'm talking to them in English, I guess they don't really take me seriously, because because of that, they can in a way take advantage of you. Yeah. Because they're just like, oh, it's just some guy who is trying to order like the most minimum quantity. Yeah. But, you know, you have to understand that we're a startup. We're the ones that have to sell it piece by piece. So.
That's like a common struggle, like between a lot of startups. Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, you know, I keep it LA bound.
So we're gonna make our stuff in LA now.
Yeah.
Is there any like new markets that you're trying to hit?
Well,
maybe like Oregon, or, you know.
So actually, we've actually got a lot of cold market penetration in terms of like customers we've never met before. We've had people from Massachusetts, New York, even Washington. So it's like, we don't know where these people are finding us, but it's like going around, I guess. And then we have models actually from East Coast that just like love our stuff and rep us.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy because, like, you know, originally the outlook of our company, like, it attracts a lot of Asian American college students, Asian Americans. It's more oriented towards that, but then we have a lot of different other demographics that support our brand.
Cool.
Like we don't actively look for a demographic to target. If they come, and we welcome them. Like we just like to grow what we already have and just strengthen it, and then people will come slowly. So, yeah.
I guess one of my last questions, if you still have any after, is where do you see Expired in 5 years?
Oh my God, I can answer this. So I actually really look up to the brand Gymshark. I think they do the same thing. They have a community, they have a strong presence with media and stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's in terms of the marketing and the community part. And then as for fashion wise, I like Off-White. I like how Off-White do their stuff. So I want to be as hype as Off-White, but then also have what Gymshark does. Like we want to be cool, but like approachable cool.
Yeah. They do really good marketing.
Gymshark.
Yeah.
I agree.
Every girl has a pair of Gymsharks.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we do is like we don't do restocks, and it's because like we want to stay exclusive. You know, there's some brands out there that like originally I thought I was trying to sell it to like retail stores like, you know, PacSun. Yeah, I mean, no hate for them, but I wanted to keep it very exclusive and more local so that it just kind of grows from there.
Yeah. So once an item run out, we don't remake them.
Right.
We usually make like what, 50 items?
Yeah, it usually ranges from like 25 to 50 per color.
Yeah.
And people are actually like asking us to remake like some items that are sold out now.
But it's just like a demand.
Yeah. So that's really cool to see too. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
I guess, well, that's it for right now.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for inviting us to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was very interesting. I'm looking forward to future block podcasts.
Yeah.
This was fun.
And like see this whole thing grow.
This is going to be, we just had a podcast with Expired Lifestyle with Garrett and both the co-founders of the company. And yeah.
Yeah, and then next couple weeks we're gonna have some more exciting guests. Just stay tuned. We got a schedule.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Hashtag Expired Gang.
Peace.
3, 2, 1, and we out.